you know, when I'm joined with actors and artists, I think one finds himself feeling very humbled. But today, I think I'm overwhelmed and humbled at the same time, which is a very interesting sort of mixed emotion because जो हस्ती हमारे साथ है आज, she is, I mean, honestly, awards तो उनके पास है ही, but honestly, I think she's even more than a legend for me. I think she is an emotion, and she's someone who we've all kind of evolved over time and seen her, and she is such a fabulous, fabulous actor. And Farida Jalalji, I am so, so honored to have you with us on Filme Shilmy. I think I'm literally getting so red because of how happy I am that we could actually make this happen. And thank you so much for joining. It means so much actually to us here at Filme
No,
Shilmy.
you have to thank me. I'm, in fact, so thankful to you for this opportunity, and I'm so glad. And there is something positive about you, something, beta?
Oh, I
Wow.
don't.
At the
No,
beginning,
they, do you know what it is? I just think it's it's just you. I think it's, ma'am, it's you because it's interesting. I have watched, I mean, of course, we've grown up with the 2000s and the 90s films that you've been such an, a big part of. But I think for me, one of my experiences growing up, even though being a 90s kid, I still watch a lot of like old Hindi movies. And I think for me, it was actually Bobby that really left such a big impact. I still remember your character where she's holding that gudiya in Air Fasa, and I, you know,
film that I can't tell you what that film did for me and my career. Bobby, talking
yes,
about Bobby now.
yes, yes.
And I mean, how I said yes to that one scene in the whole film. And Raji was a little hesitant. She said, perhaps she won't do it. She's won an award and all of that. It was 1972, 73 ki baat thi. And Mahmood Bhaijan, used to all call him Bhaijan. Mahmood, the greatest actor of all times. You know Mahmood Sahib, I'm talking about
Of
Mahmood.
course, of course.
So he and me shared this father and daughter relationship and came home quite late. And normally, mummy would not let people meet me after a certain hour of the night. She came out at 11ish, I think, and she said, your Bhaijan has come. And I said, I got up from my bed, I went out. I said, Bhaijan, this hour? What happened? So my Bhaijan sat down and said, no, I've come with an offer. Please hear me out. I'm very excited and I've committed. I've said, yes, Farida, I will do this. I said, yeah, or I've just said yes. So, very, please do it for me, for my sake. So that's when he narrated the whole thing. I was a mentally retarded girl who the parents want Rishi Kapoor to get married to, and the whole scene, he narrated a little bit of it. And for an actor, of course, it's exciting to get something out of the blue, something different to do. And so I said, well, lovely, but then for sake scene hai, the whole film, but do it for me. I've said yes. So then I went to meet Raji. He arranged all that, and I went to meet Raji. And I remember him telling me that if you don't do it, I won't blame you. You're doing so well now, mashallah. There's just one scene in the whole film. So I said, no, I will. Because Baijan is committed, and I'm loving what I'm hearing. It's something different, something out of the normal things we do normally. So that's when I said yes. And now I have to tell you that when I've asked Shyam Benegal, why did you cast me in Mammo? The title role of Mammo. Shabana ji, he's introduced Shabana Azmi in the film industry.
Yeah.
Yeah? Sultan, they are all into leading roles. They've been heroines all the while. I've always been a supporting actor, though I've done good work and all of that. But then I said, how did you think of me for the title role of Mammo? And he said,
Mm.
Bobby.
Oh,
He said to me, I'm
wow.
not Bobby. And it was here that I have to work with this guy. See what one scene can do for an actor, Vita. So I can't be grateful enough for having been offered that from Raji and having done that role. Satyajit Ray, when he said, oh my God, I get a little choked when I think of him, such a darling man. And when he said that I would never make a Hindi film, I'm very happy in my Bengali film.
Mm.
Known fact. And Rekha, Hema, every top hero of that time would send him messages, would go to Calcutta to meet him when he announced one Hindi film, Shatranj Ke Khiladi. So
Yes.
they all went ऊपर नीचे हो गए सारे heroines ये हमको लेंगे ये हमको लेंगे हमको लेंगे हमको लेंगे. And then he asked for two actors. He has a Saeed Jafri and Sanjeev Kumar, and he has two actresses he wants for the wives. And he calls for a Shabana Azmi, justified. And then he calls for a Farida Jalal. So I was like, Because I know everybody's roar in the Hindi film industry. They're all running to Calcutta, they're all sending him messages, they're all phoning him, and he's going to be one Hindi film ever. It's called Sajjan's Ke Khiladi. So on the sets while working, I was very curious that why did he pick me?
Hmm.
I went to I used to call him Manik Da, all of us. His
Hmm.
name on the set was Manik Da. And such a darling man. Oh God, I used to roar with his laughter all the time, and we had such a lot of fun on the sets. And so I walked up to her and said, Manika, tell me the truth. How did you think of me? The whole industry was at your feet. I mean, all these women were phoning you and coming to Calcutta and talking to her. How did you give me the second girl which you needed in the film? He said, Farida, I saw you in Bobby. Same thing, beta. So see what one film can do or one scene can do. So how could I have not done Bobby? Oh my God, thank God.
I'm glad you
And
did.
thank Raj. I love you. And also one more thing about Raj Kapoor, and I went to say bye bye to him after I finished my whole the whole. I mean, also the song with Aradhana was singing with Hasa and all that. After 10 days of shoot, I went to say bye bye to him. I said, Rajji, I've held his hand and said, it's such a pleasure, Rajji. I've enjoyed myself so much. So I have to say thank you, bye bye. And so happy. No, there's no bye bye now between you and me. There's no bye bye. Whenever I call, you have to come. I would like to have you in everything. You're such a good actor. You could do this to my cheeks and like a little girl and all that. And I was in tears. I was so overwhelmed. And I came home thinking, "Ab pata nahi kab dobara bari aaye." Then I got married and I
Hmm.
settled for a few years in Bangalore because of my husband's work being that side.
Hmm.
And the offer came all the way to Bangalore for Henna.
Wow. Yes.
That's when I sat up and I said, "Log apna wada nibhate hain." He said, "You'll
Bilkul.
have to come for me. See Raji wherever he is."
No.
And of course, Chintu was my favorite. I still loved Chintu. We had something we had a bond, Chintu and me.
Yeah.
So I loved him so much. It was,
No.
of course, him. He said, Papa would always write your name.
Oh,
Always say, where is she? Where is she? And she's married. She's gone now. She's not working now. But where is she? Where? So, won't you want to be part of his dream project? I said, of course I will. Even my husband said that.
hmm.
Don't leave this film. You must go and do it. So that's why I came back. And then what a warm welcome. That was my comeback film after about 7 or 8 years, I think.
Hmm.
And I came back and never went back. I'm still
And
down.
thank God, and no, and thank God you never went back because I'm really glad, ma'am, and thank you so much for sharing these very precious anecdotes with us because this is
Yeah, yeah.
exactly what makes Indian cinema and Hindi cinema. I mean, I feel like a kid in a candy shop right now because I mean, I'm a big Raj Kapoor fan. So for me, hearing these anecdotes is oh, I've got goosebumps literally. So I'm really happy to hear that. But I think it's interesting though, Farida ma'am, that you've been a part of um such such films and such characters. I mean, even if I look at your initial films, for example, take an Aradhana, right, which really kind of set the scene going for you, right? Like, I mean, these characters that you've played, I feel like a lot of them have had to fight a lot of darkness, but they've always been this beacon of hope and optimism. एक रिश्तों के बीच में एक पुल की तरह होते हैं जो आपके किरदार होते हैं. They're almost like that bridge that binds people together of conflicting geography. I mean, Henna is about conflicting geographies also. Mammo, right? You're literally playing someone who is a refugee almost in a country that was once her own, I mean,
Uh, How
so
true.
you've always played that. I mean, DDLJ, for example, everyone talks about DDLJ, but they don't actually talk about your character in that, how literally she's conflicted between her very headstrong husband and her vivacious, rebellious, but also traditional daughter. And I would love to explore that aspect a bit about you as an artist. वो जो आप एक बाइंडिंग फैक्टर होते हो, डार्कनेस से लड़के आप ऑप्टिमिज्म और होप जो डालती हो फिल्मों में, मुझे वो जानना है आपके बारे में एक्चुअली ये सोर्स कहाँ से आया.
डार्कनेस से लड़के ऑप्टिज्म वाली जो बात है वो कभी कभी इंसान के अंदर जैसे कि मेरे अंदर है वो आई थिंक सो दैट्स हाउ आई कैन
हाँ.
पोर्ट्रे दैट with sincerity actually because I feel it from within when I do a scene like that. That's important also, I think. Acting pata chal jata hai sometimes. And when it's right from the heart, you can tell that as well. So the scene, and in fact, when Adi narrated the whole of Dilwale, and I was wondering, ये यश चोपड़ा का बेटा है.
हाँ.
How does he know this? Little things, this depth in emotions. I wouldn't imagine that. Adi would be even halfway there, but he was like, how? And whatever he narrated on that, we have a little room there. They narrate the stories there. It's called the Gadda room. And whatever he narrated that day, as I've always said, is what he shot. What we saw in Celluloid was just what he narrated. एक चीज कम एक चीज ज्यादा नहीं, so perfect, so precise. I mean, बहुत कम ऐसे डायरेक्टर मिलते, बहुत कम ऐसे राइटर मिलते, तो सेट पे 70 चीजें चेंज हो जाती है ना. But
जी.
he knew what he wanted, and he was just bang on. That's why the film, you can't catch a mistake in the film. You just flow with the tide in that film. You just love it. People saw
Absolutely.
it 810 times. I yet have to meet a person who said I've seen Dilwale Dulhania once.
Hmm.
हाथ पकड़ के मैंने इतने बार देखी, मैंने उतनी बार देखी, मुझे अभी भी दिल नहीं भरा मेरा ये. इसको कहते हैं फिल्म ना बेटा. Have to
Hmm.
enjoy the success. Enjoy it.
Hmm.
Then there was Yash standing on the set. Let me share this with you. Yash Chopra. My God, everybody's dream to work under his banner, to do anything with him, a scene with him. I get to do this major role. And it is his son. Man who picked up the phone and talked to me was Yash Chopra. I was shooting in Hyderabad for
Right.
the film Loafer, David Dhawan's Loafer. And it was the last day, backup hone wala tha. And Taj Banjara, all actors were staying in the same hotel. And the phone rings and I'm wondering it's from the studio. And मैं Yash Chopra बोल रहा हूँ, Farida, Farida, Farida. I was like, I stood up, because I respect him so much. I remember on my bed, I stood up. Yes, जी, फरीदा मैं बोल रहा हूँ, मैं बॉम्बे से बोल रहा हूँ. देखो, मैं आदि को हैदराबाद भेजूँ, एक फिल्म आपको करनी है. यस जी, एट लास्ट आपकी फिल्म में मैं काम करूँ. वाओ. इधर नहीं नहीं, अगर तुम बोलो तो भेज. तो मैं कहा नहीं नहीं, मैं पैकअप ही है आज, लास्ट डे हमारा. तो टुमारो वी आर ऑल लीविंग. तो आई विल इंशाल्लाह as soon as I touch Bombay, I'm going to meet you. And I did. And then the narration happened. And I was floored. I loved what I heard, and I was very keen to do it. And yes, she was so happy. We had such a happy family the first day of the shoot. And I also remember, like, Pamela G, his mother, Mrs.
जी.
Such a darling, such a lovely lady. She would walk into the sets to help with the kitchen things, if things are put in place. And if we needed a doll, she would come and bring it for him from a shop. That involvement of the parents with Adi, and Uday was there as the first AD, his brother. So ये इतने प्यार से और इतने ऐसे सराउंडिंग से फिल्म बननी थी, तो ये तो चलनी थी बेटा. इतने
Hmm.
दिल से बनी है ये फिल्म. सो दैट्स हाउ आई फील इट्स अ स्पेशल फिल्म.
It's so beautiful. But, actually, I want to dig a little deeper, actually, Farida ma'am, because I think for you growing up, times back then were not easy, right? Like they were tough. And I think even personal wise, it was difficult for you as well, because, it was not, you've gone through a lot of things in life, which I won't go too much into details about.
अगेन.
Yeah, but it was growing up because see, I feel like जब हम रिश्तों के bind करने की बात कर रहे हैं, I feel like you've kind of in a way been that catalyst, I think from a very onset in your life. So do you think कहीं ना कहीं जो roles आपको मिले, maybe it's भगवान का मतलब एक इशारा था in a way, perhaps, I don't know, but do you think in a way the universe was kind of mirroring, what you went through, like in your life, in your early days? And that in a way gave you fuel as a way of powering through the roles that you have done as the positive binder of relationships in your films as well.
हाउ ट्रू. हाउ डिड यू गेज दैट? How, I mean, the things that happen in your real life with you, like to grow up without having a father in the house, um, seeing my mother and my grandmother bringing up me and my brother Khalid,
Hmm.
just two of us, and they got divorced when we were very, very young. I was barely two, I believe.
Ji.
And so that little void always in your life, it does help, it does help in emotions and things. When there's a little background in your story, you're very right when you say it definitely helps. It reflects and it helps, definitely.
Hmm.
So otherwise, it's been a nice night, good life. My mother saw to it. Oh, I love her wherever she's got this. Such a mother that she saw to it that we got everything that we would miss a father. They gave us the best of education, the best of upbringing, the best of every whatever we asked for was given to us.
Hmm.
So the wanting and not getting at all, I have to say that, because of the kind of a person she was and my grandmother.
Right.
So that commitment was there, but that void in your life is something.
Yeah. course, no, it is. And but it's interesting though, because I was just thinking about this actually as you were describing the DLJ. Like Kuch Kuch Hota Hai, for example, right? She's a widow, right? She's a widow. She's kind of in a way एक काफी गमज़दा character है अगर देखा जाए, in a way, because she's seen her bahu die at a very young age. She's seen her son be lonely. She herself has battled with loneliness. But फिर भी, like I mentioned, जो उस कैरेक्टर में भी और आपके सारे कैरेक्टर्स में भी एक एजेंसी है, यू नो चाहे जमाना कुछ भी कहे, चाहे कोई पाबंदी रहे, लेकिन शी इज नॉट बाउंड बाय दोज रिस्ट्रिक्शंस, और शी इज नॉट, शी इज वेरी, वो खुद में मस्त है, and I think that's what I love about the characters that you play. And interestingly, because I feel, because you've observed that with your mom and your grandmother, do you think kahin na kahin wo personality traits aap mein bhi kind of, reflect hota hai, when you play such characters, even if they are.
But normal, I think. होता ही है, I think. It's but normal.
Gee,
It does reflect, I'm sure.
gee, no, absolutely. But I think what I would love to know, actually, Farida ji, because the sort of the filmmakers, I mean, independent cinema, I think you're definitely one of the, I would say, I hate using the word underrated because it's been used so much in today's day and age. But I feel like जितनी भी तारीफ हम करें like independent cinema की, I feel like आपका नाम has to always be there because you've worked with some filmmakers who have really given a voice, like you mentioned Shyam Benegal ji, you've mentioned Satyajit Ray. I mean, जितनी भी, I mean, he is literally cinema himself, I think.
Yeah.
So
Blessed. Blessed, I'm blessed, honest to God. Because these
yeah.
opportunities don't come easily. You have to be lucky enough and the right place at the right time, people say. More than that, it's destiny. It's what God wills for you that happens with you.
Right.
So I'm very happy on that front, yeah.
But what's interesting though is that I find the acting craft, back, especially when the era that you were sort of setting out in, it was very natural. Acting came literally very naturally. ऐसा कोई massive workshops nahi the. It wasn't very mechanical. It was very much instinctive, reactive, earthy, but then at the same time very set out for the cinema screen. I would love to know, what was your training process like actually in terms of grasping the grammar, cinematic grammar of that time as well.
See, first and foremost, the language of the film you're working in. You have to be very well versed with that. Because I am seeing people on the sets nowadays, especially, are not very easy with our language, the
Mm,
Hindustani language that we use in our films, Urdu, Hindi, Hindi. So the pauses are wrong, punctuation is just not right sometimes. The delivery sounds a little not okay because of that also. So mainly you have to know the language you're working. I was offered Gujarati films by the dozens at that time. Gujarati film में बहुत बन रही थी. I
जी
said no
जी
to
जी.
each one of them. I said no to each one of them. Title role भी आया. I
Oh
said
wow.
no sir. When I don't know the language, I will not be able to give my 100%. I will hesitate. I will think I've taken a wrong pause. I've taken a longer pause. I'm not. I did. नहीं अब ग्राफ ही नहीं बैठेगा ही नहीं मेरे जहन में. So that's very important that people here, quite a few of the youngsters, they don't know our language. So
Mm,
they get stuck sometimes on the sets. I can see that. Then the director has to guide them and tell them, please pause, यहाँ आना चाहिए, यहाँ नहीं आना चाहिए. You can take a breath here, not here. All of that has to be learned. Since this little homework has to be done by the actor. You have to know where they're going. Another thing is, if you ask for your scenes beforehand, पहले तो ये होता था कि सेट पे ताज़ा ताज़ा सीन आता था. अभी अभी लिख के लाए हैं. नेक्स्ट रूम में बैठा है राइटर और लिख रहा है. We should not be given time to prepare also, no?
mm,
Yet if we have delivered, thank God that you remember my roles and my work. It was that bad. Now, so we are given the script, bound script. We have reading.
mm.
That's the best thing that has happened in today's. The best thing in today's filmmaking thing, this scenario, is that we have readings before we go on the sets. We get to meet the whole. We used to meet the actors on the set on the first day. It's awkward. We're not getting on. We're not on the same wavelength. His story is different. Mine is different. He's not a very natural actor. He's artificial in his. Many things are not just gelling. But we have a reading before we go on the sets. We come to know each other. We know the sur. We know everything. I know I go prepared on the sets now more than ever before. So that I appreciate a lot. Today's times, this reading things, the done thing. Yeah.
Wow.
And also the actors are very smart. So this
Yeah.
is him. They're
But
very smart for everything. And then they've gone to I've never believed that acting can be taught. I'm sorry. The technique can be taught. Like when
correct.
I was on the sets and I did a shot, the full shot, I've done it, given my name. फिर कैमरा यहाँ आया फिर दोबारा बोलने के लिए I said, but we've done it. Then it is a mid shot. We began to learn on the sets.
Right.
फिर they were taking this in trolley as well. It's the same dialogue. हाँ we're taking it. अब पीछे गया off shoulder उसका चल रहा है. We learned practically. We didn't know. These girls and boys know everything. So they're well prepared of the technique of the whole thing, of how a film is being made. But acting better, it comes from
True.
it has to come. It's there, it's just not there. वो दिख जाता भी है.
Gee, and I think the audience has become so much smarter now at picking it up as well. They can sense it from a mile away. If something
Oh,
is coming across as pretentious. Yeah.
that's smart. Yeah. They know.
But it's interesting actually because आपने महमूद sir का नाम लिया, right? And obviously for me, every time you mention Mahmood sir, for me it's like ख्यालों में always just comes into my mind. हम काले हैं तो क्या? Like automatically you just end up singing that song because of what a brilliant actor and talent he was. Yeah.
I was listening to Jitendra Ji
Yeah.
on a show talking about Nanu Saab. That we should be terrified of that man. He was such an actor. He would blow away the scene, take it away from us below our noses. He used to be overpowering in every frame. He was with us, and his name used to come as bold as the hero's name on any poster, banner, title, anywhere because he was such a big actor.
Yeah, no. And I'm glad you mentioned that because I feel like that's very important to acknowledge. And I feel like the way you have really um found your found your space almost and also really paved the way, I think, for character actors,
Yeah,
in cinema, I think is second to none. Because I think especially if because I feel like in especially I mean correct me if I'm wrong here, but back then it almost seemed like female characters had either three strands. Okay, you either had the Dukhyari Ma,
yes,
or
yes.
you had the villain, the vamp who would really wear modern clothes, and for some reason wearing modern clothes meant bad. And then you
I'm
all
because I think now, very unfortunate, but as an actor, I do feel I'm stuck with that now. It's the ma now, of course, as I'm aging more, it's the dadi now, it's the nani now. It was a sister first, then a ma, now it's a dadi. That's the only promotion I'm getting. So I'm a little annoyed now.
oh
So I want to
fine.
play a lawyer. I want
Yeah,
to play a doctor. It's very important in the film. I want to play some different body language.
yes.
Requires nothing. This role, which I'm being repeatedly being offered, requires nothing except if I get a scene with some special kind of line, I'm very excited then. This is something new. Okay.
Right.
Otherwise, गेटअप भी वही है सफेद पैच है साड़ी बॉर्डर वाली है वही बात है वही चीज है माँ है कंधे पे बाप बेटा आएगा आई मीन repeatedly just doing one thing. You see, why don't people think of me in different kind of roles? Why not? Why not?
Good. And I'm glad you've raised this question, and I will come back to this. But what I wanted to say is that also the third kind was also the damsel in distress heroines. I mean, of course, you did have your kind of Smita Patils, the Hema Malinis, the Rekhas, Shabana Azmis, of that era. Shamila Tagore as well. I mean, these are just some names. There were so many more.
You're naming all the leading ladies. I've never been one.
But this is what I was going to say, because
Like that,
actually, and the fact that you were not a leading lady, but tab bhi, you still made a mark for yourself. It was second to none. Like how you mentioned Mahmood Sah's name, right? Like I feel like for the females it was so rare to have a character actor in that era. I mean, you must, I mean, without making this too heavy-handed and very, very like in-depth and
yeah.
samajik thought per conversation, but I think it's important to acknowledge it. How did you kind of deal with that sort of mindset back then? And do you think there has been a significant change now, especially when actors are just treated as actors and not because of what position or hierarchy that they are in a film?
Yeah, I'm very glad for this. Actors being treated as actors. Oh my God, it's a welcome change, of course. But I, for my personal, अगर ये है तो, I'm still waiting. I'm still in the waiting. I'm still waiting. Nothing has happened to my career yet. I'm still
Oh,
there. Just there. I'm playing a dadi and a nani and a sister and a mother. That's it. How much more? How much more different? What more can I do? How much more can I stretch myself to do what? It's just not on script, beta. Nothing's more important than the script.
sure.
Script comes first. If that gives me the chance, I'll grab it. But if that's not giving me, when I read my lines, they're giving my scenes. I ask my scenes for the scene. First thing is when I do a film, I say my scenes in a file, put them all. So I get to read the whole thing. But whenever it's so similar to the film I did last month, I mean, there's nothing new now.
हाँ,
माँ फिल्म में भी बहुत कुछ हो सकता है
true.
लेकिन
Very true.
यहाँ राइटर्स वहाँ कर कुछ उनका पेन अटक जाती है माँ की नानी माँ माँ बहन कुछ अटक जाता है वहाँ माँ कुछ अलग नहीं कर पाती है
No, but that's the thing though. Like, see, if they have a male character, they can easily find strands, which is why have to give appreciation to probably.
I'm so jealous. I tell him every time, Anupam Kher,
Oh,
and
Anupam sir. Oh.
he's doing the comedian of the film. He's playing a lawyer in one film. He's playing the doctor who's most important in the film. He's playing a father. He's playing a grandfather. Mr. Kher is like, hello, I'm Amish Puri. I just tell him, Kamal
Hmm.
hai. You're doing comedy, you're doing villainy, you're doing a father's role in Dilwale, you're doing everything. We have sorted into just one.
Hmm.
Sometimes even I feel I've said this dialogue twice before. As itni similar lines be milti, it's that bad.
हाँ.
So where do I?
But ये
I don't
कारण
want to work. I love my work. So what do
जी.
I say? I just say no more. I don't want to do that. And I'm so grateful to Allah that I still people come here and sit here and offer me such nice work even now. But it does you know affect in some way that nothing else is coming your way.
हाँ.
That
But ma'am, ये कारण क्या होगा? Like, is it to do with, is it misogyny? I don't know. Is it still like the mindset still is shifting? I don't know.
must be another mindset. Otherwise, why?
Yeah.
And it's where this is such nice things to be. You're one of the best actors we have. So then utilize Meena. So what use it? Give me something else to do. Something more meat to bite. It's like I
I
hate doing this. You know?
I hear you, and I genuinely hope that you do get that. And I think when that happens, I think I'll probably be ringing Yasin Bhai and be like, "Oh my God, किसी ने हमारी interview सुनी?" And then since then,
We celebrate that. Inshallah,
we
we
will
will.
absolutely celebrate that. No, but look, if there is some sort of catalyst, I think, or
Yeah.
some sort of catharsis, rather, actually, catalyst is the wrong word, catharsis from this whole experience that you've had, is at least in O Romeo, we got to see you give a gali, which was
Oh
nice.
my God. This thing we're going to talk about. No, 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 no,
No,
no.
no, 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 no. Don't worry. I'm not going to go
Actually,
into
not
that.
even a गाली because I said दादाजी ऐसा कहते थे
Ha,
कि जो
exactly.
मर जाए वो रोमियो और जो मर जाए वो
No, no, no. Absolutely. No, no.
but my fans and people were really very this about this Gali thing, and I got lots of oh my god, shabashi for that also, and some of them were little इतनी हमारी दादी जैसी sweetheart ने गाली दे दी. They said this also to me, so I felt a little no, I've let them down sort of. I'm sorry.
no, but I'll tell you what,
As
though.
an actor, I've enjoyed doing all kinds of things, yeah, and I want to do so much more.
No, absolutely. But मैं यही कहने वाला था. But you know what? I think honestly, it's not even about the gali, okay? But it's also about the layer of your character in that. See, we've seen the sweet dadi, we've seen the compassionate, the one
Yes,
जो रिश्तों को जोड़ के रखती है. But this one in O Romeo, I felt like उसमें एक थोड़ा सा there was a razor sharp edge to her. You know, she was like, "Listen, don't mess with me. I've lived my life and I know my stuff. You don't mess
yeah.
with me because if you mess with me, then I will also put you in your place." Which is again a very different strand. So I think Oh, Romeo
It
के
has,
साथ
yeah.
जी
This Dadi did have, yes. Yeah, I agree with you. I
जी
loved it. And I was wanting to work with Vishal sir, and thank God.
जी. But it's so wonderful that you've kind of learned to kind of you have evolved. You have evolved with the time,
I
Farida ji.
hope I
And
have.
no, you have. And I think
Good.
what has really I think that's what I want to ask without it sounding like or adding an age factor into it because I don't want to ever ऐसी गुस्ताखी नहीं करना चाहूंगा लेकिन what has kept you uh aware about the sort of evolving times and the sort of dynamics that have changed, over the time when you began as an actor to now currently.
It's the work, bit at this line and this career. You have to really be totally in love with it to be around for such a long time. 1969 was my first film, Kaddi. Count the years. It takes a lot to be around with such total focus and dedication that I want to be just here and do just this in my life.
Hmm.
I'm totally in love with this work and with this industry. And if God asks me for a second chance, do you want a second chance? I would say I want the same thing. But if was a little more opportunities, because I know I can do much more than I've already done.
I
I know I'm
agree.
going to take more back with me. I'm not very happy on that. I want to do much more, but opportunities must come my way, is all I see.
Okay, I think now, obviously you've expressed that interest, and I think throughout this course of the conversation, we've definitely have touched on some amazing nostalgic moments and moments that makes me very happy as a big cinema buff and someone who
Yeah,
really adores Hindi cinema. But I think if the Farida Jalal today, sat where you are, kind of met or had a conversation with your younger self, what would be the advice that she would give her? And what would be the praise that she would give her? Advice and praise to your younger self. What would those be?
to my younger self,
Yes.
it's actually thought about because I don't regret anything actually. Thank God
Yeah.
for Allah's mercy and my mother's guidance, and I've been on the path I've always wanted to be all along my life. And so, what more can I ask for to be doing just what you want to do in the way you want to do, and given the opportunities by the Almighty also. So I would want more opportunities as an actor. Of course, that I'll always be greedy about.
Hmm.
Otherwise, I've had a very good life. Let me tell you, I married at the right time. I married the man of my choice. He loved me to death. I have a lovely son.
Hmm.
I have, I mean, what can I ask for more than this? I've had a lovely life. He's given me everything that I'd always wanted in my life. Everything. There's nothing I need to say. मुझे ये भी चाहिए, as a career, as an actor, वो भूख तो रहेगी.
Of course.
I still haven't done my best. I still feel it's yet to come. I still feel that is there. That will always be there.
Hmm.
But otherwise, as we're talking about my life, very fulfilling. Thank
That
God. Alhamdulillah.
no, thank God. No, seriously, honestly, and thank God for that. But you know that what you just said, my best is still yet to come. You know, uh, that is a very interesting line because see, ये ना काफी दो तरीके से जा सकती है. या तो फिर it's literally in self pity. It could be also in bitterness, but yet you've kept that hopeful. You've kept that
Absolutely.
hopeful.
Till the last
How?
day of my life. Yes.
हाँ बस वही होप मेरे को बस वो होप जानना है like what is your source of hope in life actually I would love
I
to know
think
that.
that is yet to come. I feel somebody will walk in one day with a script that will बहुत ज्यादा मुझे excite करेगी, and I'll go with my 100%, and I still do my 100% whenever I go on the sets.
Of course.
But that thing that और भी कुछ मिलना चाहिए. The last day of the shoot of a film is a little bit और भी कुछ होना चाहिए था. सब कुछ नहीं मिला. That's always there. That's always there. I think an actor who wants to do her best or his best and wants to put in more and more is always going to be a hungry actor. Always. I am.
Hmm. Now I'm curious because there is such a gamut of like characters that you could literally get your teeth sunk into, but
Yeah.
what would you say is that one आपकी ये जो दिल की ख्वाहिश है एक किरदार निभाने की वो किरदार क्या होगा और क्यों?
We want people like in my bachpan, when I saw Nargis ji, Meena Kumari ji. I've been an ardent fan of Meena ji and Nargis ji and all of those lovely actors. So I want all their roles. I want to do Mother India. I want to do a Pakistan. I want to, because उन चीजों को देखकर हम बड़े हुए हैं, and
Yes.
wanting to be in that place, wanting to be doing that shot, wanting to be crying like this, dancing like that. So वो सब चाहिए भाई. तो
Hmm.
मेरी ख्वाहिशों की तो कोई हद आपको, there's no limit to that.
No,
And
but
अगर the only actor says इतना ही चाहिए, नहीं होगा.
नहीं बिल्कुल
You
भी
need
नहीं.
more. You're greedy when you're an actor. Yeah,
जी
I am.
पर क्योंकि आपने पाकीज़ा का जिक्र किया और मीना कुमारी जी का भी जिक्र किया आपने, you did Hira Mandi. And honestly, you've worked with Sanjila Bhansali and Vishal Bharadwaj. You've worked with two of the finest filmmakers of our generation. And again, two very beautiful roles. So, I think in a way, it kind of is wonderful that at least धीरे धीरे करके वो आपकी जो ख्वाहिश है वो पूरी हो रही है,
Absolutely.
you know?
Yeah, I'm so happy. Always when I said a tick mark from my bucket list the day Mr. Bansali called me, I was so, so, so happy. I can't tell you, sir. So happy, so happy. And the way, the rapport on the sets, when he would walk onto the sets, and whenever we shared those few moments, I treasure them for life. He respects an act. He knows a good act. You
Yeah.
can tell, and that's so, so, so fulfilling. I can't tell you. I'm looking forward. He'll call me. I think I'll just walk all the way. I want to do another film with him.
I have a feeling that might happen very soon. I don't know why.
Inshallah, lovely. You said it.
Spider-Man, I don't know, like Spider-Man, my spidey senses are tingling. I think it might actually happen very soon. But honestly, and to be honest, forget not just you, but it'll be a big sobhagya for the filmmaker themselves to actually have you in their film. Like seriously, and I'm not just saying this because you're in front of me, but it's because आपका contribution रहा है. And I think that's the beauty of you, Farida ji. Just to conclude our conversation today, is that you've been without with very minimalist words, with minimalism has been your thing, but yet your impact has been far, far greater, more than anyone can imagine. And I think that is why
Oh,
you
saying this
really
sounding so good. It's like
no, but you deserve it and much more. And I'm not just saying this सिर्फ आपकी तारीफ करने के लिए, because
means a lot. It means a lot. Let me tell you, it means a lot.
and
Thank you.
and I also have to thank you as well, because growing up with films like Karata Hindustani, where growing up with the Kuch Kuch Hota Hai, any of these movies, right? You name them. I think even Daijan from Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum, right?
Yeah.
For me, it's I'm glad. Thank you for making our childhood and our cinema
Oh
experiences from a young age so, so beautiful. And
my
I'm saying
God.
this for a lot of us. So thank you for that.
Thank you. I wish I could do it 10 times over for all of you.
Oh,
So thank you. It's been so heartwarming. Thank you, Vita.
thank you
Your
so much.
kind word. A big God bless.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. It's been such a pleasure. Thank you. Thank you.